राम राम, आप सबारो स्वागत है दवाई स्टोरीज़ में। मारो नाम युवरागी है और आज मैं लेर आई हूँ वीर रसू भरी एक एड़ी कहानी जिन्हें सुनने मारा तो रोंगटा उभावे जावे। एक एड़ी वीरांगनारी गाथा जिन्हें त्याग और बलिदान ने आज भी याद कर लोग सोचे कि वाह है परिभाषा सत त्याग और बलिदान री। कहानी है हाडी रानी री। टुडे आई ब्रिंग टू यू द story of Haadi Raani, of her sacrifice, of her valor and bravery. It is unheard of and unbelievable of the kind of sacrifice she made to make her husband understand and realize what his duty was. In order to convey the true essence of the story, today I'm going to read out this story from this beautiful book called Manjal Raat, written by रानी लक्ष्मी कुमारी जी चुंडावत। इन कहानी ने आज मैं आपने पढ़ने सुनाऊँला ताकि कोई भी ऐडी बात ना रह जावे जो कि ज़रूरी है और रस भरीपूर है। कहानी में सुनाऊँला मांझल रात हूँ। कहानी लिखी रानी लक्ष्मी कुमारी जी चुंडावत, बहुत ही भव्य लेखिका। मारो वाने शत शत नमन। तुम्हारो काम बहुत ही जसनीय है। सो सुना कहानी हाडी रानी। कहानी शुरू करने पहले मैं आपने एक बात कहनी चाहूँ। पुराना ज़माना में लुगाया ने वारे पीर रे नामू जानियो जातो। आजकल लोग खुद रो सरनेम चेंज कर दे ब्याह पछे। पहली नहीं वेती हाडा राजपूत वेता तो वारे बेटी हाडी जी कहलाता, जोधपुर रवेता तो जोधानी जी कहलाता, मेड़ता रवेता तो मेड़तानी जी कहलाता। सो इन द एरा बायगॉन द विमेन वर नोन फ्रॉम देयर फैमिली नेम, फ्रॉम द फैमिली दे केम फ्रॉम। There was no concept of surname and change of surname. It's only very new. And they were known by their family name. So somebody from Jodhpur would be Jodhani ji, from Medta would be Medtani ji, and somebody who was a Hada princess was called Haadi ji or Haadi Raani. Let's listen to this beautiful story in the words of Shri Laxmi Kumari ji Chundawat. आशा करूँ आपने मजो आवेला। रूपनगढ़ रावड़ा में अचानक सन्नाटो वेग्यो। सीड़ो वाचतो वायरो जाने तातो वेग्यो वे। The story is happening right now in Rupangarh Palace. Suddenly there's a lull, a quiet. सीड़ो वाचतो वायरो यानी कि there's a cold. सीड़ो मतलब cold, वायरो मतलब wind. So it's a cold wind suddenly starts feeling very very hot. तातो means hot. दावणियारा छमछम बाजता गुगरा थम गया। गादी पे बैठी राणियारा मुंडा धोड़ा पड़ गया। बायरो करती दासियारी मुट्ठी में भींजड़ी डांडी यूं रहेगी। श्रीनाथ जीरा मंदिर में आरती रा दर्शन करता राजा जीरा हाथ में बादशाह औरंगजेब रो हुकुम रो कागज पकड़ायो। हुकुम बाँचता बाँचता राजा जी री आँखें आगे काला पीला आई गया। द क्वाइट वॉज बिकॉज ऑफ दिस लेटर दैट द किंग ऑफ रूपनगढ़ हैड रिसीव्ड एंड द लेटर स्टन्ड एवरीबडी, to the extent that the king himself couldn't see. All he saw was black and yellow and black and yellow. He just couldn't see anything beyond. What was in that letter? हुकुम काई हो जहर रो प्यालो हो, जिरो घूंट नी तो गला नीचे उतारनी आवे ना ही थूकनी आवे। It was a message as bitter as poison. Neither could you swallow it nor could you spit it out. राजकवरी चारुमती रे साथे औरंगजेब रा ब्याव रो पैगाम। कोरो पैगाम ही नहीं, हुकुम और जुल्मी हुकुम, तिथि समय सब निश्चित। The message was a proclamation, an information, not a proposal, not seeking permission, but informing the king of Rupangarh that on so and so date, Aurangzeb will come and marry his daughter Charumati. Be ready. एक कान सु दूजा कान में गी, दूजा सु तीजा में, मर्दारी रीस सु मुठियां बंध गी। बूढ़ारा शरम सु माथा नीचा झुक गया। के तो ये अपमान री कड़वी घूट ने नीचो माथो कर गले उतारनो के काल ने नूतनो। काल मतलब डेथ, नूतनो मतलब इन्विटेशन। सो द चॉइस वॉज टू आइदर एक्सेप्ट दिस और फाइट बैक, एंड इफ यू फाइट बैक इट इज लाइक इन्वाइटिंग डेथ बिकॉज दे स्टैंड नो चांस इन विनिंग अगेंस्ट औरंगजेब। रणचंडी री तस्वीर आंखें आगे फिरगी, कायरारी छाती धड़धड़ करवा लागी। चारुमती सुनियो काची केड़ जू कांप गी, जाने बिजली पड़ी। रीसु राती पड़ गई. When Charumati heard this news, she was red with rage. Rati matlab red, rees matlab anger. She was raging red with anger. And what did she have to say? बेइज्जती काई हद वे, बादशाह लुगाई ने समझे काई है, वे कई खेल बारो खेलकणो है, इज्जती लुगाई रे संसार में सबसु अमोलक धन है. So she's saying, what does Aurangzeb think of himself? He thinks women are toys that he can play with. A woman's honor and respect is the most precious thing in this entire world. Does he not know that? मर जानो मंजूर पर इज्जत रे साथे, बाद सारो यो जोर जुलुम कदे मंजूर नी. So she said, I am ready to die with respect, but accept this proposal of Aurangzeb. My answer is a no. Charumati had made it very clear. She is not interested in marrying Aurangzeb. Charumati बिफर गई, माथारी नसा तड़गी, छाती में सांस नी मावे, बाप ने साफ ना कह दियो, मर जाऊं पण बादशाह ने नी पढ़नो. She had made it clear to her father that I will die but marry Aurangzeb. अपमान सु दाझोड़ो, नीचो माथो धालियां, खसक ने कालजा में दबाया, बाप गलगड़ावे समझाण लाग्या. बेटा, तू कहवे जो सारी साची है, पण बता और उपाय काई है जो मैं करूं. So imagine the plight of the king of Rupangarh. At one point he is a father to Charumati and he wants his daughter to be happy. On the other hand, he is the father to his people too, and he knows if Charumati says no and they deny, then his people will pay the price for it. They stand no chance of winning against the mighty army of Aurangzeb. And worst of worst, his soldiers, what atrocities will they commit on innocent people, women, children? It's unimaginable. बेटा तू कहवे जो सारी साची है, पण बता और उपाय काई है मारे कने. आलमगीर री फौजा सु टक्कर लेण री आपा में ताकत नी. वीरी एक पलटन आपनो सारा शहर ने उजाड़ देला, हजारा घर बर्बाद वे जावेला, थारी जैसी सैकड़ों बेटियां रांडा वे जावेला. और वहां पे जो सिपाही जुल्म करेला वो तो सोचनी नहीं आवे. हमेशा अदब सु झुकी रहती वे आंखें आज पूरा जोर सु तणगी, हाथ जोड़ नरमी सु बात करवा वाली चारुमती छाती ताण सामी उभी वेगी. So the dutiful daughter who would always keep her eyes low and talk with respect with her father was now raging with anger, looking eye to eye at her father, and she said, जुलम बेइज्जती झेलवा सु तो बर्बाद वे जाणो आछो. औरत री इज्जत सारू था नहीं मर सको तो मत मरो. मैं तो जीवती जीव कदे नहीं मानू. था अतरा जणा हाथा में तलवारा लीधा फिर रिया हो, क्यों नहीं एक झटको मारे माथारे मारो, सारो झगड़ो ही खत्म वे जावे. What's her suggestion? She says, I am not going to bow down to this injustice, this insult. I am ready to die, but say yes to the ruler of Delhi, Aurangzeb. And all you people who roam around carrying these swords, why don't you just behead me once and for all and the matter is finished? With me ends everything. हिरनी जैसी आँखियाँ में आंसू भरिया माथो आगे करियो. थू नी जाने ईरो नतीजो कई निकली. गिलानी और अफसोस राजाती माथो पकड़ बैठ गया. The king knew that the matter doesn't end here. Even if Charumati kills herself, Aurangzeb will not stop at that. He will still get his revenge. He will come for him and his people, and they will pay the price, come what may. चारुमती ने अथ दिखे न गत, दिन 15 रह गया. पैर वारा गाबा बैरी वेरिया जाने खीरा में लोटे. भीत पे टंगियोड़ो दर्पण सामी नजर पड़ी. मुंडारा प्रतिबिंब सू कापी काळजियो चीरती निकल गई. यो रूप ही पापारो फल है. पेली पद्मिनी ने बाड़ी, अब मारो ओसरो है. She was so restless and depressed. She didn't know what to do. Her clothes pierced her, pricked her as if thorns. And every time she looked at her reflection in the mirror, she cursed. She cursed her beauty, that this is why we are in this situation. This is why Rani Padmini had to immolate herself, and this is why I am next in line. So suddenly she reminded of Rani Padmini and her Johar, and the sacrifice that she had to make, and she thinks she's in the same shoes, in the same situation. લારે રા લારે યાદ આવી પદ્મિનીરી ઇજ્જત સારું માથા કટાવણિયા વીરારી રૂમ રૂમ ઊભો વે ગયો. આજ વારી વા મારે માથે બીત રહી હે પણ મરવાવાળો કોઈ હે. So she is reminded not only of Padmini but of the brave men who fought in her honor, for her valor, of the men from Chittor, of the men of Mewad. And she feels that she's in the same situation. Will she find someone to fight for her honor? वीरी आंख आगे चित्तौड़ रा सूरमा चमक गया. लारे रे लार राणा राज सिंह री तस्वीर आंखियां आगे नाच गई. जोतदान रा चित्रा में राणा राज सिंह जी री वा चित्र देखियो हो वा देखती रहेगी. कसियो रौबदार चेहरो, अंजस उभरिया नेत्र, वारी वीरतारी कहानियां औरंगजेबू अड़वारी बाता वी घणी दाण उछलते कालजाऊं सुनी. राज सिंह जी रा जस गीत याद आया. So when she questions will someone fight for her honor, she is reminded of this beautiful painting of the current Maharana of Mewad, Raj Singh Ji, that she had seen. What a portrait, what a personality. Eyes filled with courage. And the stories she had heard about his bravery, about his fight against Aurangzeb. And she feels, will he fight for her? She is hopeful. Suddenly, she is hopeful that maybe, yes, maybe he will come. He will come because he belongs to the land of the mighty brave of Mewad who fought for the honor of Padmini. પદ્મિની સારું લોયા રખાળ બેવાવા વાળારી સંતાન રાજસિંહ મારી રક્ષા નહીં કરેલા? જરૂર કરેલા. એ વિચારસુ ચારુમતીરી આંખિયા ચમક ગઈ. વે બ્યાવ કરેલા તો મીઠા વિચારસુ કુંવરીરા નૈણ મિચ ગયા. अस्या सूरमा प्रतापी पति सु बत्तो राजपूत री बेटी ने चावे काई. दो पल दूसरा ही जगत में चारुमती परीगी. For few moments she was transported to another land where she thought she had someone who would fight for her honor. What more does a daughter, a Rajput girl want but a brave man by her side fighting for her honor? झट कलम ले राणा राज सिंह जी ने एक कागज लिखियो. मैं आपने मन वचन सु पति अंगीकार कर लीधी हूँ. आप मने ले जाओ. जो कृष्ण रुक्मणी री शिशुपाल सु रक्षा की दी, जू ही अबे आप मारी करो. मैं आप री वे चुकी. So immediately she wrote a letter to Maharana Raj Singh Ji and said, I am yours. I accept you as my husband. And just how Lord Krishna saved Rukmani ji from the evil Shishupal, you come and save me and accept me. Will you come? बोलो अबे कई करनो है? दरी खाना में कागज बाँच राणा जी सारा सरदारा कहानी पूछता नजर नाखी. Cut to the scene wherein Rana Raj Singh Ji is reading this letter loud to his royal advisors and asking them for advice. What do I do? How do I act? There is this woman asking for help. There is this woman who's telling me that she's accepted me as a husband and she wants me to fight for her honor. What am I to do? Advise me. किराई तो हाथ मूछा पे पड़ गया. किराई रीसू आँखिया में झाड़ा छूटवा लागी. किरे ही रगत रो संचार बद गयो. घणकारा मुंडा उतर गया. There were different people reacting differently. So many people's heads hung low. Many people were touching their moustaches. Many of them were raging red with anger. And some of them had no blood flow going through their body. They were stunned. करनो काई है जो चौड़े है बाई जी ने परण पधारो. एक जनो आग तो बोलियो. आगली पाछली सोच ने बात करो. दिल्ली रा धणी सो लोहो लेवणो है. दूजो थोड़ो सोचन कियो. Now there were both thoughts. One said, go. What is there to think? Go fight for her, bring her. Somebody says, no, we have to think through this. We cannot take a decision in haste. Consider the fact that we are fighting against the mighty ruler of Delhi, Aurangzeb. We can't take this decision in haste. We have to bear the pros and cons. बहस मुबाहिसाओं वेण लाग्यो. आप आपरी कहण लाग्या. जो काम जानो जस्यो सोरो नहीं है, सवाल लुगाई जाती री इज्जत रो है, घर री ताकत देखनी पहला जरूरी है, शरण में आया री रक्षा करनो सबसो मोटो धर्म है. So there were conversations flying left, right and center. Everybody had a view. Some said, a woman in distress needs to be protected. That is the honor of a brave man. People said, no, we need to understand what is our strength and weakness and only act upon it. We can't just take a decision in haste. We got to be prudent about it. And suddenly Rana ji said. Rana ji kayo, फल ईरो चावे जो वीवे, मरनो एक दान है आगे के पाछे, लुगाईरी विनती टाल दे वो मरद ही नहीं, नारी रो अपमान नजरिया देखनो ही सबसु मोटो पाप है, जीवता जीव नरक भोगनो है, करो फौजरी तैयारी करो, मुंह परनवाने जाऊला. So Rana ji had made a decision. He said, whatever the outcome, whether victory or defeat, one has to die, whether sooner or later. It's done deal. Everybody who is born on this earth will die, sooner or later. It's a fact. But a woman in distress asking for help and you refuse her, that is not a true man. A person who doesn't fight for the honor of a woman is committing the biggest crime and would go to hell. So I don't want to commit that crime. I'm ready to get married. Get our army ready. थे फौज ले दिल्ली रा गेड़ा में रोकिया राख जो, ब्याव नी वेजावे जतरे खबरदार बादशाह रूपनगढ़ री सीमा में पग नहीं देण पावे. सलुम्बर रावत जी ने खबर भेजो, मुसाहिबी रो जिम्मो संभाले. So there was a plan that while I go to marry Princess Charumati with a small army, get the army ready to stop Aurangzeb's army and ensure that they cannot set foot in Rupangarh until I get married and bring Charumati back home to Mewar. And summon Rawat ji of Salumbar because he is going to be the commander-in-chief for this army. एक जणो अठीने झांक हाथ जोड़ियो. अंदाता सलुंबर वाला तो परने काले ज घरे आया, मारा हाथ रा काकन डोरा ही नहीं खुलिया. So what was the news? The news was that Rawat ji of Salumbar had just gotten married and come back home. He had just gotten married and come back home with his newly married bride, to the extent that we have these kakan dora, these beautiful colorful threads that we tie to the newlyweds. Even those threads hadn't come loose, which means it was just a very newly married couple. To separate them, to ask the husband to go fight a war, was it wise? Was it right? Was it fair? ललाट पे गहरा धड़ा सारा सल पड़ गया, विचार में थोड़ी देर डूब गया, धीरे धीरे ऊंची गाबड़ कर घड़ा ठिमरा सु बोलिया. आपा जी जोखम में उठवा जाई रिया. हाँ विने तो देखो, करतब भाटा सु ही ज्यादा कड़ो है. So Rana of Mewar knew that this was a very difficult situation and he understood, but he spoke with conviction that look at the challenge we are facing. We need all hands aboard. It is like pushing a mighty mountain from its place. Do you even see that this is a golden chance to create history? एक लांबी सांस खींचता राणा जी धीरे मन ही मन में बोलिया, आपना देश रे मान मर्यादा राखवा सारू तो कतरा बलिदान कीधा है. आखी उम्र जुद्धा में रहनिया राणा जी री आँख्या में ही पानी आई गयो. He took a deep breath and remembered all the ancestors and sacrifices that his men, his ancestors have made to ensure that they could live with their heads held high. And it was worth it. Cut to the palace in Salumbar. Look at the celebration of a newly married couple being received in their home. Salumbar रा गढ़ में राग रा फुंवारा छूट रिया. सरनाई में बधावा बनड़ा गाइज रिया. नीचे बैठी लोढ़निया मांड में दुआ दे रही, ओढ़निया मांड में दुआ दे रही. ऊपर महल में मखमल री गादी पे मसनद रो सहारो लीधा रावत रतन सिंह जी बैठिया. कने ही नवी पढ़नी बींदणी हाडी जी. लाल पड़ने तू पोशाक और लाल हाथी दांतरो चूड़ो पेरिया बैठिया. What a beautiful scene in the palace of Salumbar, wherein on the Shehnai they are singing Banada Banadi. The Dholans are singing in praise for their master and their new mistress. Everyone is joyous, and what a mood. And in the palace, in the royal chambers, sat on a Gadi Masnad, Rawat Ratan Singh ji, looking at his beautiful wife Haadi ji, who was adorned with beautiful jewelry, her red poshak and her red ivory chuda. हिंगूल रिपोर्ट सरीखा लाल होठ री झाई वी रूप री रानी रा गाला री लाली ने और ही गहरी कर रही. अतरारा दीवारा झलमल करता चांदना में कंचन सरीखो रंग दूणो दूणो दमक दमक जावतो. रावत जी एक टक वारे साम्या चोगरियो जाने मंत्रायोड़ो सांप झोला लेवे. मारी तिसाई आँखियाँ एक ही नजर में आंखों रूप पी जावे. आखती वेरी वे हाडी जी साम्या झांकिया वी निजरो अरत समझे ने लांबी लांबी कैरीरी फांक जैसी आँखियाँ लाज सु नीची वेगी. झीणी झीणी पसीनारी बूंदा आएगी. रावती जीरा लुभाया नेणानो नसो चोगणो वेगियो. हुकुमरी बाट में हाथ जोड़िया उभी दावड़ियाँ छतरसाला सु बारे खिसगी. बारे बैठी दावड़ियाँ कलाड़ी उगेरे. The beautiful sight or the scene of where a newly married couple looks at each other with promise, with love, with affection and a willingness to spend a lifetime with each other, a promise. कमला कमला कंवल सरीखा हाथा ने हाथ में ले नैणारा प्याला सो सारो रस ऊंधाता रावत जी बोलिया. हाडी जी थे मने मिल गया तिलोक री संपत मिल गई. नौ निधि मिल गई अब काई नी चावे मने. Taking a beautiful soft hands in his, Rawat ji confesses his love for his wife. He says, "You are by my side. It's like winning all the treasures of the world. I need nothing at all." पड़ुतर देण ने हाडी जी रा होठ हालिया पण बोल निकलिया ही कोनी. नैन नीचा कीधा मन ही मन आनंद रा सागर में तिरवा लाग्या. The beautiful Haadi ji wanted to respond to her husband's praise of comparing her to the treasures of the world, but she couldn't bring herself to speak even one word. She was floating in his love, in his affection. था सरीखा रतन मने मिलियो देखो मिनक तो काई देवता भी मारा भाग पे ईसको कर रिया है. ईसको मतलब जेलस. आओ मारा कने. Rawat Ratan Singh ji said that, you know, you are like this most precious jewel that I adorn on my crown. And it is so special and precious that not only men but even the gods are jealous of me. Come my love, come. आनंदरा भार सु हाडी जीरी आँखियाँ आधी मिचगी. अतराक में तो दावड़ी हाथ में परवाणो लीधो महीने आई. झूकर कागज नजर करियो. ओ वगत है. रावत जी आँख काढ़ी. खम्मा परथी नाथ उदयपुर सु सवार आयो. जरूरी हुकुम है जूं ताबेदार हाजिर वी. So poor maid servant had to interrupt because she was holding a very important letter from Udaipur, from the Rana himself, and we know why, and we know what it was in the letter, but Rawat Ratan Singh ji doesn't know what's in the letter. परवाणो बाँच्यो जाने आबा में चमकता चांद पे काड़ो बादलो आई गयो वे. आबा मतलब स्काई. काड़ो बादलो मतलब ब्लैक क्लाउड. चांद वी ऑल नो. So when Ratan Singh ji read that letter, he was stunned. He was so stunned as if a beautiful full moon was covered by a big black cloud. झलमल करता दीवड़ारी बाती पे गुड़ आई गयो वे. मेलारा हंसता लगा थांबा गुमसुम वे गया. रावत जीरो मुंडो पीड़ो पर गयो. He became pale. He was speechless. बात काई है. हाडी जी हाथ सु कागज लेता बांचियो. काळजो कट गयो. नैणा में करुणारी देवी जाने से शरीर विराजमान वेगी. यो अथाह ने और वियोग, यो बंधन और काचा सूत जू टूटबा वालो. So Haadi Raani also read the letter and she was speechless. It was as if somebody had stabbed her. She was brimming with tear and sadness. That what a pity. At one moment she had it all and at the other moment she has to let it go. रावत जी बैठ्या रह गया जाने पखांड री पुतली. पखांड मतलब स्टोन, पुतली मतलब स्टैचू. घणी देर पछे हालिया. लड़ाई में मुंह नहीं जाऊंला. हाडी जी आंखें फाड़िया देखता रह गया. काना पे भरोसो नहीं आयो. नी मुंह नहीं जाऊं, थाने छोड़ कट्ठे ही नहीं जाऊं, कांपता होटासू बोल निकलिया. So Rawat ji was there, stunned, he was stunned like a statue. He was still, and then he spoke. And what did he say? I am not going to go fight. I am not going to leave your side. I am not going anywhere. Haadi ji could not believe her ears. What was she hearing? Of course, heart of heart, she wanted her husband on her side. But as a true Rajput Kshatrani wife, was that the right thing to do? She asked herself. हाडी जी समझी मारो मोह थाने जावा नहीं देवे. नेणारी कोरा में पानी भर गयो. मन तो कहव्यो हाथ पकड़ अठे राख लूं, पण आत्मारे अंतसु धक्को दियो. राजपूत और युद्ध सु मुंडो फेरे, धिक्कार. हाडी जी पूछ्यो, कई फरमा रिया हो? साच कह रही हूं, थाने छोड़नी नहीं आवे. हाडी जी तो दरप किया. दरपनो मतलब डरनो. So she said, what are you saying? He said, yes, I am saying the truth. I am not going to leave your side. I am not going to fight. So suddenly Haadi ji was scared. Haadi Raani was scared. Why? Because of her husband is refusing a fight. Who is a true Rajput? A true Rajput is the one who fights. A true Rajput is the one who never says no to a challenge. A true Rajput never shies away from his duty. ए सबद आपरे मुंडा सु सुन रही हूं. आज धनिया ने जन्म भूमि ने आपरी जरूरत है. She couldn't believe her ears and she said, am I hearing these words from you? Today your motherland, our master needs you. जन्म भूम रो मैं एकलो ही बेटो नहीं हूं, घणा ही है. आप चुंडा जीरा वंशज हो और आ कायरता. चुंडावतारी भादरी री बाता तो घणी सुनी. आई जे आप लोगारी भादरी देख ली दी. कुलरो मर्यादा रो ध्यान है कि नहीं? आप री सारी पीढ़ियां रणभूमि में सूती नाप नटरिया हो. तारीख में कई नाम मंडेला. हाडी रानी is trying to reason with her husband. She is saying, how can you forget who you are? You are the successor of the Chundawats, whose bravery is uncomparable. Don't you know you are going to make them look bad? What are they going to say? How are you going to face them? All your ancestors who died for their valor, for their bravery, for their motherland. What is history going to write for you? तारीख और मर्यादा री बाता थेम कई सुनाओ हाडी जी, सब समझूं. कायर कोनी हूं, मारी बादरी री बाता सुननी वे तो मारा ही खांडा ने पूछो. खांडो मतलब तलवार. What are you talking about? History and valor. You want to talk about my bravery and valor? Ask my sword and my sword will speak for itself. अबार मारो धर्म करम मान मर्यादा सब आप हो. स्वर्ग नरक री चिंता नहीं है, मने चिंता है तो थारी कोरी थारी. Rawat Ratan Singh ji is saying that I am not a coward, I am brave and I don't need to prove it to anyone. Ask my sword. But right now my duty is towards you. You are my worry, you are my heaven, you are my hell. I am not leaving your side. हाडी जी सुनियो. काले असीज नेरी वाता अमृत सु मीठी लागती पण अबारू बड़बड़ता खीराजू लागे. If it was yesterday, these words would have sounded like nectar to her ears, but right now they are like embers burning her. વીને યાદ આવી ગયો महाराज भुआ जोधपुर जसवंत सिंह जी री हाडी रानी वे भागर आया पति ने किला में कोनी घुसने दियो किला रा दरवाजा बंद कर दीधा भाग्योड़ा पति रो मुंडो कोनी देखूं suddenly she remembers and recalls that she is also from the same family where her own aunt who was married to Jodhpur king Jaswant Singh ji who refused to look at her husband's face she closed the door on her husband who ran away from battle. हाडी जी सांस जोर से चालने लगी रगत में उबालो आई गयो मारी चिंता मत करो तलवार हाथ में पकड़ो जीत राओ तो अठे आनंद करला मर गया तो स्वर्ग में आप रे लारे मैं भी आऊं So what did she say? Don't worry about me, go fight. If you win, we will celebrate, and if you die on the battlefield, I will follow you to heaven. We will meet in afterlife. कतरा कठोर हो हाडी जी थे हाडी जी रो आवेग सु मुंडो रातो वेग्यो कायरपति ने बाथ में घाल ने घर में घालिया राखवा सु तो बीरपति री रांड वे जानो लाख दाण चोखो. Now Haadi ji was raging red with anger, and she said, to be a wife to a husband who refuses a fight, who is a coward, I would rather die but be called a wife to that kind of a husband. I would be proud to be a wife, to be a widow to a husband who dies on the battlefield. She was raging red with anger. She had already made up her mind. She had already made it clear what she wants her husband to do. She doesn't want him to be on her side. She wants him to go fight. रावत जी एक लंबी सांस लेता ललचाया नैना सू झांकिया. हूँ तो युद्ध में खैर जाऊं हूँ पण पाछा सू थारो काई वेला हथलेवारी मेहंदी भी नहीं सूखी. हाडी तड़फगी मारो काई वेला लो यो वचन आप जो लड़ाई में काम आई गया तो लारे मुंह भी सती वे जाऊं. So now Rawat ji says with a long breath, he says, I will go fight, but what will happen to you? What will happen to you? Your mehendi, the hathlewa that we do when we get married, your mehendi is also still so wet, it's not even dried, and you're asking me to go fight. And that's when Haadi Raani says with conviction that don't worry about me. I promise you that if you die in the battlefield, I will become Sati after you. I will meet you in the next life. रावत जी कूच री तैयारी में लाग्या पण अनमना मनसू. His heart was with Haadi Raani. He was going through the throes of preparation for fight and battle, but he was not in it with his full heart, with full conviction. तैयारी करे पण जीव हाडी जी में घोड़ा पे सवार विया पाछा फिर ने झांकता जावे. हाडी जी रा गोखड़ा रे नीचे घोड़ा रो वाह खेंच लीधी ऊपर झांकिया पड़ने तू पोशाक में जीरी हथलेवारी मेहंदी भी नी फीकी पड़ी. वे हाडी जी जरोखा में जाली में बिजली ज्यों चमकता दिख्या. घोड़ो रुक गयो. हजूरी ने हिलो पाड़ियो. जा हाडी जी ने अरज कर कोई हेलाणी मारे खातर लावे. हेलाणी यानी remembrance. Another word is nani, senani or helani, which means a remembrance, a memorabilia, something to remember, to think of. It could be a piece of jewelry, a piece of cloth, anything, something that will remind Rawat ji of Haadi ji. Rawat ji is leaving for battle, but his heart is with Haadi ji, and while he is leaving, he stops. He stops under the jharokha of a royal palace and calls to the royal attendant and said, Go to Haadi Raani and ask her to give me a memorabilia, a remembrance to remember her from. रावत जी री आँख्यां गोखड़ारी जाली सु आगे नहीं डिगे. हाडी जी देखियो यो मोह ए रण जाई काई तो फतेह करेला. पीढ़ियारा नाम रे काड़ो लगावारा दिन है. उठीने तो कायरपति रा उमीड़ा मारी साथणिया मने सुनावेला. वठीने चुंडावतारा उजड़ा इतिहास पे पहली दाण यो कायरतारो दाग लागेला. ई सगळारो कारण मुं मारो मोह ही तो इस सगला अनर्थ री जड़ है। वीने याद आई गयो वे जोधपुर वाला भुआ हाडी रानी जो आप रा हाथा सु पेट चीर औरंगजेब री फौज रे लारे जुद कर मर गया। मुंह ही तो हूं वी खानदान में जन्म लीधी। अतराक में दावड़ी आई, हाथ जोड़िया ने बोली, अंदाता आप री सैलानी मंगावे लारे ले जावाने। So here Haadi Rani knows that she is the biggest distraction, the biggest roadblock between her husband's success in battlefield and him accomplishing his duty. It was she that was standing between him following his duty or be called a coward. And she is reminded of the sacrifice her aunt, another Haadi Rani of Jodhpur, who sacrificed her life fighting against Aurangzeb. And just then the attendant came asking for a remembrance, a memorabilia that Rawatji had asked for. So what did she say? Yes, I'm giving it to you. Can you just hand me that sword? हाँ देऊं, थोड़ी वा तलवार झेला जे। तलवार म्यानु काढ़ता बोलिया, अंदाता ने अरज कर दीजे, या सैलानी तो ले पधारो जिमें आपरो जीव है, वह आपसू पहला जाई रही है। अबे आप पाछा पग मत दीजो, मैं आपरो इंतजार स्वर्ग में करूँला। She took the sword out and said to the attendant that go give this message to my husband. Tell him that I'm sending you my last remembrance. Something that reminds you of your duty. Something that breaks the ties of your distraction and telling you that I am going before you and I'm going to wait for you in heaven. यो कहता ही हाडी जी री तलवार हाथ में काठी पकड़ आपरीज गाबड़ पे जोरू झटको मारियो। गाबड़ यानी गर्दन। So while she said this and conveyed the message, with one stroke, one clear stroke, she struck the sword with her own hands on her neck and clean beheaded herself. तड़ाक देता लोयारा फवारा रे साथे माथो धम देनी ने जमी पे जाय पड़ियो, जाने चांद धरती पे टूट पड़ियो वे। What a scene. She beheads herself with a clean cut. There's a fountain of blood and her beautiful head falls on the ground as if the moon fell from the sky. Cut to the scene right now. We are in Raj Samand in Udaipur, in the royal palace of Udaipur, राजसमंद पैलेस ऑफ उदयपुर। राजसमंदरी पहाड़ उपरला मेलारी चांदनी में राज सिंह जी वारी रानी चारुमती रे साथे उभा। नीचे नजर पड़े जतरे तालाब रो पानी दिखे, ऊपरे पूनम रो चांद चमक रियो। वीरो चिड़को नीचे पानी में करोड़ करोड़ रूप धारण कर नाच रियो। So the scene now is where in Rajsamand Palace, on the beautiful terrace in the bright full moon night, Rana Raj Singh Ji is standing with his wife Charumati. How did that happen? चारुमती उछाव करुणा और श्रद्धा सी तिरबेणी नैना में भरिया राणा जी ने पूछ रही, हाडी जी आप हाथ सुईज आपरो माथो काट सैलानी दे दीदी पछे। Charumati could not believe her ears that Haadi ji beheaded herself with her own hands and presented her head as a remembrance, as a memorabilia to her own husband. She wanted to know how did that end. रावत जी आपो भूल गया, वीरी कटिया माथा ने केसारी लट सु आपरे गला में बांध ली दी। छाती पर वारो मुंड लटकतो रियो, जाने वानी आँख्या में भूत लड़ रियो वे। दूजो महादेव रणभूमि में उतर आयो, दुश्मनारो गेलो रोकने उभा रह गया। एक आंगल पाछा नी सरक्या, कट कट वारा बटका बटका नी विया जतरे। अस्यो दृश्य कदे देखियो नी सुनियो नी, भरिया कंठ सु राणा जी सुनायो। पछे पछे काई वारा प्रताप सु था अठे मारे कने बैठिया हो। चारुमती रो सरधा सो माथो झुक गयो, पलका आली वेगी. That sums it all. That sums it how shaken was Rawat Ratan Singh Ji when he received the last remembrance of his wife, her head, which reminded him of his honor, and he fought. He fought as if he was possessed by Mahadev himself. He did not budge. He did not move back until there was the last drop of blood in his body. He did not let Aurangzeb's army go any forward, and he won. So Charumati innocently asked Rana Raj Singh Ji, then what? Then what happened? And he said, then what? That's why, because of the sacrifice of Haadi Raani and because of the sacrifice of Rawat Ratan Singh Ji of Salumbar, you are standing right next to me. This valor, this kind of sacrifice is unheard of. It's hard to believe. When I tell this story to my children, they are like, why would someone do this? Why would someone sacrifice their life, behead themselves for just asking their husband to go fight? Why? They just don't understand. It is difficult. But the more they listen to these stories, maybe one day they will understand the emotion. I'm not saying that they will be able to replicate it, not possible. But they will understand why. वो क्यों समझ में आ जावे कि वे क्यों करियो आज री पीढ़ी ने, और वो जद आवेला जद वे घणी घणी बार एक कहानियाँ सुनेला समझेला और समझने माने ओ पतो चाली कि क्यों कोई ने खुद रे आन बान शान रे आगे खुदरा प्राण छोटा लागे, मातृभूमि रे फर्ज रे आगे खुदरा प्राण छोटा लागे. आशा करूँ आपने आ कहानी चोखी लागी वही. एड़ा और कॉन्टेंट ने सुनने वास्ते मारू जुड़िया रहीजो, एन चैनल ने सब्सक्राइब करावजो. राम राम.